Hi. Hoping everyone can see us now. Well, here we go. Hello. We are just getting live. Mike's doing this over on TikTok. And I wanted to welcome everybody to Shovel Day. How's it going, everybody?
Let's get going.
We are psyched to be here. The second annual National Shovel Day 2026. Mike, why are we here?
It's hard to believe a year later. As everyone knows, our favorite holiday was National Garden Day, which is every year in April. Today is National Garden Day. We hijacked National Garden Day last year for the first annual National Shovel Day with Gary V. We said, why stop? Let's just keep going. And so here we are. We're having an awesome 2 hours planned. Do you want to talk a little bit about what's happening?
Yeah. So today we want to give some value back to all you shovelers out there. A couple things I want to make sure that you know. If you go right now to kassandmike.com/shovel, you will see a bunch of packages. And these packages, which you can also see up there at kassandmike.com/shovel, they're going to be, value add to you as founders and entrepreneurs and business leaders. We've got the Harvest Mentorship Program. That would be a one-on-one program with Mike and me. We've got our Farm Council meeting where you can pitch to us 10 minutes with other peers. And then exciting, on April 29th, we're having another VIP dinner with us.
First one was awesome.
Yeah, that one went really well. We're having another one. So make sure to get your tickets to that. There's only 9 spots. And then on April 30th, we have Bootstrapping to Billions event. That's going to be here in New York City. It's a whole day conference. And you're going to see some of the people that are going to be at that conference that are part of our exclusive team of experts. And you want to talk about what we're going to also hear, who we're going to hear from today?
Yeah, so that's our first ever live ticketed event. So we're excited about it, a little nervous. We like being uncomfortable. So we'll see what happens. But if you want to join us for the day of learning, that would be great. Today is going to be awesome. And what we've done is we said, how do we run our life? How do we run our businesses? How do we expose that? And there are basically 3 major concepts that we're going to be talking about. One is nothing else matters in the world today other than demand generation. So demand generation is where it's at. It used to be tech, right? We came from the tech world. Tech was a competitive moat. No longer, because of AI, because of a lot of trends. And so really the only thing that matters is demand gen. And 2 of the speakers today, Maha, who helped us incredibly well with our book program and runs our comms. She's going to talk about how to build personal branding and trust and why that's so important, which we now realize why it's so important now that we've been doing this for about 2 years. And then we're also going to bookmark it at the end with Mike Jandal, very close friend who ran our customer success program at Buddy Media. And he made it a mission a few years ago to really understand LinkedIn and dominate LinkedIn. The #1 social net that you have to focus on is LinkedIn. By far, it's real people. The value of a lead on LinkedIn much greater than everywhere else. And it's where business is done in the social media world. And so we've really engaged our 100,000 plus followers with some of the strategies. MJ is going to show up. And in the middle is one of our favorite people, not our favorite kid, but he is a child of ours.
One of our favorite kids.
Yeah, one of the 3, Miles Lazerow, who has a company called Waddle. And we are not one for just putting our kids on stage just to do it. But he's helped us so much think about AI and how not only to build apps and automate our life, but more importantly, how to build an operating system with memory to save time, save money, automate stuff, do stuff that we couldn't do. And so we own businesses. We'll talk about what he did for our executive search business, making fulfillment much easier for all of our producers.
And really how to think about AI as a business, right? Like not necessarily as, should I launch an AI company? More about how to use AI as an operating system, like Mike said. That's the most important thing, for businesses out there and leaders out there. We're also willing to talk to anybody who has questions. So whenever you do, please just reach out. We're looking at TikTok. We're looking at LinkedIn, YouTube Live. We are all over Instagram. And if you do want to get in, just really let us know. So, and we will put you there and our team will let us know.
One of the things why we love this day so much is, entrepreneurship really is our national sport. So baseball season just started. Who watches baseball? Not as many used to, right?
Right.
But there were 5 million businesses started last year, not tech businesses. I'm talking about, dry cleaners and pizza places and restaurants and search companies and all sorts of AI businesses. And this is really a celebration of that, because in the shoveling, in the misery, in all of the hard work, it's where we find our passion, where we find our purpose, where we build relationships, and where we create a life worth living. And everyone who read our book, Shoveling Shit, A Love Story, knows that it's not just about making money. It's about making money and then being able to look back and say that was worth it. Like right. What we did was worth it and awesome. And so that's really what our focus is today. And, at the end of the day, what we hear again and again from people we talk to is, how can we interact with you more? How can we really, get some of your time? And so we want to give back, through events like this, through live events, but also through the mentorship program. So it's the first time we've ever launched kind of one-on-one mentoring. Our time is valuable to us, just like your time is valuable to you. Can we help you raise money? Can we help you hire correctly? Can we help you get some of the obstacles, personal obstacles, out of the way? Are you looking at something in your business? You're like, it's not quite right. I don't know what it is, but I need someone to help me unpack it. Are you getting in the way of yourself as a leader? Are you focused on the right things? All of these things can hold you back. And I think our goal is to come together with Kass, the operator, me more kind of business development, sales, product.
That's right.
And help you unlock the business of your dreams so then you could go on. And so, we hope they're accessible to those of you who are serious. Go to kassandmike.com/shovel. Is that right, Kass?
That's right.
I get a lot of details wrong, but want to make sure I got that right. And sign up. We would love to work with you. We'd love to talk to you. We'd love to help you, because nothing's better than an entrepreneur with a shovel who has passion.
They are unstoppable. And I want to say this too. Why are we wearing these hats? Mike got these hats made, I think almost a year ago, right?
Yep.
And we brought a couple to our book launch party that was at, the New York Stock Exchange. And what was really interesting is how many people wanted these hats. So our team put together a merch shop, which again, you can go to kassandmike.com/shovel and you can find a button there that goes right to our merch shop. But you can also go right to kassandmike.com and you're going to see a link that's called merch. But we don't just have shoveler hats. We have some other fun hats. And those hats say things like acquired or TAM, total addressable market. Things that are clever things that all of us business leaders, all of us founders and entrepreneurs, those who shovel will think is absolutely dead on. And please go buy the hats. They're custom made. They'll come exactly to you. And we're psyched. We're going to keep, creating some merch that everyone likes. So awesome.
Okay. So as you go to kassandmike.com/shovel, we want to introduce one of our favorite people who's going to kick off National Shovel Day.
Yes, she is a longtime friend and also like an expert. Her name is Maha Abu-Elanin, and she is a friend. She is someone that goes to bat for her clients. She is someone who went to bat for me, for Mike, for our book, for our family. And she's just an overall incredible human being, an expert. And she's going to be here to talk about personal branding and trust. Hello, Maha. Hi, we can't hear you. So hold on. We got to figure this out. Hold on. Why can we not hear you? I cannot hear you. So let me ask the team what's going on here. You can hear me. Here, let's see if we can.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, there we go. There you go, okay. Maha.
My problem. Hey, you guys, happy National Shovel Day.
Right?
I can't
right?
wait to get my hands on those hats. I love them. I feel like the fact that you guys created a holiday to celebrate entrepreneurship is just genius and well needed, and very excited to be here today. And for all of you who are listening, I've known Kass and Mike for a long time, but I can tell you, if you get a chance to work with them, to get a session, to get mentoring, to have dinner, please do it. It is life-changing. They have supported me and helped me in my business in so many ways. And so I'm very excited to be joining you guys today to talk about something that I think a lot of entrepreneurs need to be focused on, especially as we live in this world of AI, which I know Miles is going to talk about. But I think it's just like one of the most critical things today. I'm at a conference today that has to do with sports, and we're talking about women's sports, and every single person is bringing up the importance of storytelling, building your brand, telling your story of who you are. And I think it's for athletes, it's for entrepreneurs, it's for solopreneurs, it's people who work in companies. And so I'm excited to dive in today.
So let's go right to it, because everyone's talking about personal brands, trust, but in this age of AI. So how do you think that works? How does that change because of AI? What do you think?
I mean, a couple of things. One, if you are, I heard this quote a couple of days ago and I love it. Everyone's jobs are changing, even if you're not changing jobs.
That's right.
And what that means,
say it again. That's so good.
Everyone's jobs are changing, even if you're not changing jobs. So if you're not switching companies or looking for a new career, your current job is going to change. And that's like the main reason I believe that investing in your personal brand is critical today. If you can't explain to someone who you are, what you stand for, what you're good at, or what value you bring to a company, or if you're an entrepreneur and you have your own business and you need to have that story for customers, it's going to be critical. And I want people to learn how to have this skill. And because AI is either creating layoffs or collapsing jobs or changing roles, you have to know how to stand out, and you have to know how to communicate for yourself and tell your own story.
So would you say that AI is, raising the bar for what trust really means, or eroding it?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people don't trust AI. They're scared of it. Like, we're always scared of something we really don't understand. And I think that we're moving from an attention economy where anyone can get attention or eyeballs or go viral or create some sort of clickbaity, trendy piece of content that gets them seen. They're getting attention. But what people really crave is to trust who they're doing business with, trust who they're giving their money to, trust the brands that they're investing in or believing in. And I feel we're moving into that trust economy. And the best way for you to create trust is to know how to build a good relationship with someone, to deliver on your promises, to show up consistently, to be accountable for your actions. And I always think, like, what am I going to do if my job gets eliminated by AI, if I am going to a company that's changing and I have to become an entrepreneur? I need to rely on myself. I need to build my own business or money or income. I have to have relationships with people so they trust me, so they either recommend me or they invest in me.
That's exactly it. And I see so many people trying to shortcut that. And when we have AI literally coming down upon us, it's so important to keep those relationships, the in real life relationships, the networking going. It's like even more important. So what do you think about authenticity? We talk about authenticity.
How
do you do that? I was going to say, like, how do you do that with where content can be generated on the fly? How do you become authentic? How do you be true to yourself?
I mean, I think everybody recognizes when they see content on the internet that was generated by AI that it's not really them, right? I feel people want the real thing. They want the real you. They want to see you in your natural habitat and really talk about your vulnerabilities, your struggles in building your business. You know, if you're struggling with talent or getting an investor, people want that authenticity. You know, people follow people, they don't follow companies. So as much as you can tell your story, your journey, how you're building your business, their struggles you're going through, people can tap into building a relationship with you based on who you really are. And I feel like, you know, the best pieces of content that even I've put out have been the ones that have been kind of me doing me and not really, you know, worrying about how I look or the environment I'm in, but just really adding value to my audience and making sure that that's my number one focus whenever I'm telling a story or trying to connect or create a piece of content. I'm always asking myself, is this valuable for my audience? And that's that authentic way that I'm trying to show up every single day.
And what does it mean to build a brand? Let's take it like a step back.
Yep.
What are some of the basics that people should be thinking about in terms of building their brand? Where, what, how?
First things first, if you want to think about, you know, building your personal brand or you're not really sure where to start with your origin story. Who am I? How did I get to where I am today? People don't know your background, and pin that on your Instagram page, pin it so people can go back and see, where did you start? So like, where did you grow up? How did you build your business? Starting with your personal brand starts by sharing a piece of you about the thing you want to share with the world. So I think that's first and foremost is really start with thinking about, how can I tell my origin story and what does that look like? Even on your LinkedIn profile. LinkedIn is one of the most important tools for business. It's where all your customers are. It's where all your relationships are. It's not just a site where you can go to find your next job or your next role. Use the real estate in LinkedIn in that first part under your name to really tell the story of who you are and what your origin story is. So that's the first thing I recommend to people. The second thing I recommend to people is think about, what do you like to do naturally? Do you like to be in videos? Are you like, don't want to be on camera? Do you like writing? Is that, I want to write stuff on Substack. I want to write on LinkedIn. I prefer doing video content. So I want to be on YouTube or Instagram or TikTok. You have to do what you can do consistently. So, you know, embarking on creating a habit to build your personal brand, I always tell people 15 minutes a week. Can we spend 15 minutes a week, micro steps, micro habits of going online and building relationships on LinkedIn? Building relationships on LinkedIn is part of building your personal brand. So start with small steps and things that you think you can do consistently.
Can you be a little bit more specific about that? Because
Yes.
I think you're an expert on that in LinkedIn. So building relationships, what does that mean? Like, to the small businesses out there who might be freaked out. I know we were when we started. Does that literally mean following people and commenting on their content?
Yeah, I mean, I have a whole playbook, and I can give your audience a free guide on how to help really build better relationships. First things first is showing up and following up, right? So if you go to an event, let's say you go to an event to network, right? You're going to meet many people during the time that you're at this event. Make sure you follow them on LinkedIn, and then you connect with them, send them a message. A lot of, they say like 48 hours after meeting somebody, they forget meeting you. So what are you doing to follow up and follow through? So you shouldn't be collecting just connections. You really try to aim at building a relationship. One of the ways that I network that has been very effective is I spend a lot of time. I put 15 minutes on my calendar every single day to spend time showing up for people, sharing their work, commenting on their posts, genuinely building relationships with the people that I want to do business with. And that's the key to being good at networking, is not just in and out, but just consistently trying to build a relationship by listening to the people that you're following, understanding their work, understanding what they care about, and then trying to add value to them.
It's interesting because it's really how we met. I mean, we met through Gary and through that whole ecosystem, but you found out we were writing a book, and you had just written a book. And you said, listen, I really like you guys, the 7 Rules of Self-Reliance on Amazon today. Amazing book. If you're friends with me, you probably got one because I bought a bunch of them. And I recommend everyone, read that. And so we met, you said, I love you guys. You have an important message. I want to help you for free. And you gave us like 3 or 4 ideas about like the street team with the book. And then I was like, I don't want free. Like, I just want like you to be our Sherpa through this. Yep. So I tell that not because you're great, but you were giving stuff to us.
Yeah.
And then I asked you if I could pay you.
Yeah. One of the biggest things, and I've worked with some of the biggest names and companies in the world, and I always start with one question: how can I help? I always when I look at my network, I don't look at what I can get from my network. I always look at what I can give to my network. How can I add value to them? Because if I can show a potential client or a relationship that I really care about, that I'm here to do something good of value because I have good intentions, not because I want to do a transaction, want something in exchange, and I do that consistently, I keep showing up, I keep trying to bring value to them, then I'm going to have build a relationship that's built on trust. Like, they trust me because I'm trying to do the right thing for them. I don't like do business like that with everybody, just giving for free and then saying, well, what about me? I genuinely do it because I want to build a long-term relationship. We live in a society today, we want to tap to pay and get out of the store. We want to download the whole seasons right now. If a video doesn't load in 3 seconds, we get frustrated, right?
Right.
I believe the key to building a successful relationship for you and your reputation is to be a long-term player, to think on the long-term basis. And it always pays off for me. Always. I'm 56. I've been doing this for 30 years. It always paid off when I decided to do the right thing, to invest in that relationship and not worry about a transaction. And it always came back to delivering value for me.
That's amazing. So how do you help your clients? Can you go through some of the things that clients reach out, to you and your team to do? I know you do, but
yeah, a couple things. We have a lot of playbooks that I put on my site, and I'm going to offer at the end of this, if anyone wants to take any of my courses or coaching, we'll give a discount to people who are joining today.
That's
Number
awesome.
one is to build your personal brand. You want to be a thought leader in your space. There's a couple things you can do, right? We help clients get on stages to speak at events. We might have clients with announcements in the media. They might want to get on podcasts to build new audiences or get new followers with a group or an audience that they haven't been working with before. But at the end of the day, what we're helping clients do is build their personal brands. If they are a dog mom or a salon owner or a solopreneur or an entrepreneur with a big company, we always help them think about their executive presence, what they should be doing to lead, how can they be good at storytelling. Storytelling is one of the most important skills any leader needs to have, whether they are starting out on their careers or are a successful CEO of a big company. If they're not able to communicate, they're not able to influence, they're not able to inform, they're not able to educate people about why a company or employee or a investor or partner should work with them. So communications will never go out of style, no matter how much AI comes into the world. Think about it. You even have to know how to enter a prompt. What is the question or the message you would like it to come up with? I can't wait to hear Miles' session later, because I know he brings so much value and how we can really leverage AI to be a thought partner for us and help us scale our businesses and our ideas. And it's really a powerful force in technology that everyone needs to be investing time in daily to learn.
So we're big believers in focus, as you know.
Yes.
And part of how we focus is not only kind of stack ranked order of what to do, but it's how do you measure it, right? So it's in the V2 Mom, which is in the book.
Yep.
I know it's impossible to say this is how you measure it for everyone, but what are some of the metrics that you think are important in this personal brand world that people should really focus on?
Yeah, I think, first of all, I love how you always help us focus when we work together. It really brings me center to what really matters, because there can be so many distractions in business and so many distractions of all these things you feel you should do because that's what everyone else is doing. But to really focus takes effort. And I feel for us, when we think about how do we measure the successful personal brand, we're really measuring reputation. do you have a good reputation, and how do you measure that? So we always look at, how did we deliver on key messages? If there are some messages that are very important that we want to continue to hit, what does that mean? So if I'm always going to say, I want to be talking about personal branding or reputation and storytelling, how are we delivering against that? Are we talking to the right audiences? Are we sharing the consistent message? And are we actually getting more opportunities? The strong personal brand is growing by getting on more stages, by getting on more podcasts, by reaching new audiences, by charging more for how much they speak. Those are some of the things that we look at when we're trying to build a reputation or build a personal brand. And I think it's really remarkable today how businesses are starting to really pay attention to the ways in which the individual or the personal brand can really have economies and leverage income to really grow themselves in ways that we never thought possible before.
I think that's so key. We're going to hear from MJ later, and he's going to talk a lot about LinkedIn and how you can use Stanley on it. But he himself, in his company, Stanley, they hire people because of their own personal branding, how
100%.
well they've done. And that's such an interesting concept, because we talked about how we used to hire people and it was a referral program. We'd rather have all the friends of friends in a company. And this is also an important strategy, I think, for business leaders to understand that those employees that have big personal brands, they shouldn't be shunned. They should be welcomed.
For sure.
That's a huge, huge plus in your own company.
And the time to invest is yesterday. Like, it'll help you get a promotion. It'll help you get a sponsorship deal. It'll help you get a better opportunity. You know, companies want people who have strong personal brands, who have strong reputations, who have relationships. Even when I think about hiring in my firm, I always want to hire people who come to the table with relationships, because that's very, very valuable. So investing in your personal brand is not about self-promotion and look at me, I know things, I'm going to build my brand and become an influencer. It has nothing to do with that. It has everything to do with your reputation, building a strong one, making sure you're investing in it, make sure you're growing it. I always think of a reputation as a currency, like money, what's its worth and what's its value. You need to treat it as such.
Yeah.
What, can I ask one more thing?
Well, I have one more question.
Okay, go. You go.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
So let's take off your personal branding hat.
Yes.
Since we've met, you've gone from basically helping Gary and running his comms and everything to having a pretty big business of your own. So you are an entrepreneur.
I am an entrepreneur, and I'm celebrating today as National Shovel Day.
And so I know it hasn't been easy.
Yes.
What are some of the cheat codes, or one cheat code that you know now that you wish you knew when you launched your business?
Yeah. I mean, there's so many things that as an entrepreneur you go through, you know, managing teams, understanding, you know, the things you don't know, right? Like, the financial pieces, the HR pieces. Like, I think the cheat codes in business is making sure you're just not hard on yourself. Like, when you're an entrepreneur, if you know something is not right, pivot and make a change quickly. Don't dwell on it too much. Like, businesses, like you have challenges. It's just how it works. You have up and down economies. You have clients that are having difficulties and you have to ride the storm with them. You know, I've had my share of challenges with team members, you know, just staff not working out, bringing in the wrong people and not making the right hires and having to onboard them and then offboard them. Like, that's, you know, it's just part of business and part of life, but I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. I love waking up every day, getting to work with the clients I get to work with. I love working every day around understanding culture, understanding storytelling, understanding how I can try to be 3 steps ahead to make sure I know things that I'm sharing with my clients to give me a competitive advantage. I love the world of storytelling. I love the world of communications and public relations. And so it's just, you got to just fasten that seatbelt and ride it and enjoy every minute you can.
That's awesome. I guess my question was, again, I am starting, like, I've run my business. I'm a great business leader. My company's profitable, but I've never, ever built any content. And I'm so nervous to do that. And I know content can actually propel things. what is the biggest misconception that I'm going to have? I know we had them when we came to you. What
think people,
can you do?
people are afraid to start posting content because they are afraid of other people judging them.
Right.
And I can tell you right now that no one's judging you as much as you're judging yourself.
Right.
Like, I never wanted to be on videos. I'm like, that's not me. I'm not that girl. I'm not going to be posting videos talking about communications and storytelling. But I got confident once I took that first step. But I'm like, oh, that wasn't that hard. Actually, that was fun. Oh, well, what other value can I bring to my audience? Oh, will this benefit somebody else? Can I help take the strategies that I do for the Gary Vee's and the JP Morgan Chases, like my other clients of the world, and bring it to other people that can really bring value for them? 100% yes. And the minute I decided in my head that this was about the audience and not about me, I just started posting. It's not about you. It's not about you. It's about the audience. And right now the internet is free and we all have access to tell stories and to build a business and to make money and to market our companies and to recruit employees using the internet. So we need to be really good at this. And the time to invest is now.
Oh, that is so brilliant and perfect. I totally agree with you. It was so awkward for Mike and I to start doing content. It just felt.
It was.
You guys are so good.
It's still
good.
We just don't care anymore.
Great, but that's what you just said. You just don't care.
You just don't care. It's your page. It's your life.
In wrapping up,
yes.
Do you want to talk about the discount you're going to give people? Because it's huge.
First of all, I have an online course where I basically have taken everything I've done for my clients and I've put it into an online program. You can take it all by yourself at your own time and your own leisure. I'm actually on the video coaching you throughout the whole sessions. And we're going to give $200 off to anyone who wants to sign up for it. You guys can go to the link. Someone's going to share it somewhere.
You're doing it right now on all the different social platforms. You're getting the link and then you're getting the code. So.
Yes. And it teaches you everything, starting from zero on how to build your personal brand, how to find your positioning, how to figure out what you should be posting about, how to get on podcasts, how to build your speaking brief, how to use AI. We give you all the AI prompts to get the tools. You get workbooks and sessions with it. Anyways, I had so much fun creating it. We've done it for hundreds of people. If you guys want access to it, we're going to give a special discount for everyone today in celebration of National Shovel Day.
And what's great about Maha's stuff and why you can do this online is what she did with us and what her team did is pull this stuff out of us, right? So just asking questions that we then document, right? And so you can do it asynchronously. You don't need a person, like it's perfect. And then if you need some help, you can, I'm sure Maha has a mentoring program and other stuff you can do. And the reason why we wanted Maha here is we would not have been a New York Times bestseller.
No way.
Without Maha. I mean,
100%.
And we say that because
100%.
She helped us build our messaging, appear on the podcast we needed to, get on the stages we needed to get on, build the street team. And we started basically from zero because when we sold Buddy Media, we went cold on social media.
Yes, which was,
and so we had to fire it back up, which we wish we didn't go cold. We had much to say, like we're a little burned out at the time. But thank you, Ma.
Thank
you so much, you guys. I'm so happy to be a part of this. Again, if anyone's listening, get a chance to get a mentorship program, spend it with these guys because these guys know what they're doing and they give so much value and it's very practical advice. They have invested and mentored thousands of employees, invested in lots of companies. Happy National Shovel Day. I just placed my order for my hat. I'll be wearing it. I'll be wearing it next time you guys see me.
Thank you so much, Maha.
Have a great day. Take care. Bye.
Thanks.
All right. How great was that?
She's the best.
She is the best.
And she's like her energy and she basically ran her playbook on us. You realize that?
I know.
That she was just like, hey, Mike, I knew her first. Like, I want to help out. I think I see some things you can do. And then it just became apparent that we did not know anything, that we needed to actually get help. And I had to beg her to take us on because she was really busy at the time. She just published a book. She didn't have the size team that she has now. And it's why we continue to do content, continue to do thought leadership, continue to put out videos, is not just because we like it. I don't know if we like it. Do we like it?
It's very hard.
But most importantly, it has driven so many relationships, so many just people in our life. I just look at the people commenting who a year ago we didn't know, right? Like we didn't know Crystal. We didn't know all of these people who have made our life richer. Some we'll do business with, some will just help out. Some
we have friendships with them.
some will just be friends. Like, and so put yourself out there. No one is judging you. Cassie, I remember the first few videos, she's like, I got to do my hair. I got to put on my makeup.
I should put my hat on today.
And now she's like in the bathroom turning it on. Like, let's go, right? Like you just get like numb to it. I got cross eyes. I don't love seeing myself on video.
I'm answering comments, by the way.
I don't love my voice.
One person I'd like to speak with, and I'm hoping he's listening, is Jeff Ragavan, because I think Maha and Jeff are so similar in how they build relationships. So I did just ask Jeff Ragavan if he could come on. Team, if you see him and he can do it, please let me know. But, you know, there were a couple nuggets in there that Maha said that really hit me. Follow up and follow through. Like, what a great phrase. That's what everybody should be doing in their life today. Follow up, follow through, right? So it's basically you meet someone, reach back out to them, you know, say who you are again, introduce yourself, bring up something that you actually talked about when you met them, and then follow through with whatever you said you do. So many people out there are all talk and they don't follow through. So this is a big deal. I loved that nugget of information from her. What else did you like?
I mean, you know, when you look at kind of what's going to build your business long term and what can you do today that has, you know, we're always looking for like compounding effects, like not one-off stuff, like, you know, the sizzle, we look for the meat.
Yep.
And everything you put out there, every video, every piece of content builds on the stuff that came before you. Before. And so this is something that you can really continue to invest in and grow over time. We started this about 2 years ago in prep for the book, right? A year before the book published, we launched. Book was published in June of last year. We're now still doing it. And it's been whatever, 1,500 videos and all these LinkedIn posts and all this effort. But we now are connected to about 500,000 people in our community. We've done deals with people in the community. We've offered advice. We've had dinner. And so just keep doing it and keep kind of, you know, what we see is people are like, I'm going to build a personal brand. And they go like all in for 2 weeks. They're posting every day on LinkedIn. They're commenting. They're reaching out. They're doing videos. Then they don't get the engagement that hits those dopamine receptors. And then they're like, I guess it's not working.
Right.
Okay. We've done this, I think 1,500 videos. You just have to keep going, even though at the beginning it may feel like you're just talking 100%. To like no one. You will find your people. The other thing that she's helped us do is really focus in on your core content pillars. So it's really important not to spray and pray at the beginning. We were lucky because we had a book coming out, a lot of content. We went all in on entrepreneurship, but you didn't see a lot of other stuff from us. We wanted to be known for entrepreneurship.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Now we're starting to kind of go to the entrepreneurial mindset. And, you know, a lot of people seem to like the relationship stuff, you know, with, you know, it is what it is. Everyone has relationships. So Kass and I, you know, are fighting, are bickering, are like how we navigate, how we celebrate, all of that stuff. And so just put it out there and that'll be the honey that gets people attracted to you. And
I want to go through one comment here. So our good friend David Honig, when Maha was on, you know, and really talking about branding and just kind of getting yourself out there, being consistent. And both of us, David and Honig and I, believe that kids in college even need to do that. So the importance of networking. What is networking? It's just getting yourself out there to somebody that you don't already know. Like I had to break it down to my kids that's why it's so important. So kids out there who are trying to enter this world of AI, this is the time to build your brand and just start. It's so important. We have 1 minute before we have our next guest speaker, who is one of my favorite guest speakers.
Before we go into that, can I just talk about one thing?
Yeah.
So kassandmike.com/shovel. And go there now. There are a bunch of different things that we're excited about. These are all new. One is the first ever Harvest mentorship program. It's one-on-one with both of us at a price point that you just can't get anywhere else. And so it's 4 sessions with both of us. And the goal is to help you just not make the mistakes that we made, help you cut through the noise, make faster decisions. I'm going to ask you, what do you focus on? Like, what's number 1, 2, and 3? How do you measure them? And you're going to come out with sharper thinking, clearer next steps, faster decisions, and more importantly, confidence. A lot of us just need confidence. Like, I still run stuff by my business rabbis who help me, with confidence. The other thing that I would highlight on that page, incredible dinner, only 9 people, April 29th at the Core Club in New York City, 7:30. Please check that out. It's going to be a phenomenal evening. And the last time we did it, it was not only about like us and, Gary was a guest, but the relationships that were made by the people.
Definitely.
And one of the people who came to dinner, we ended up going to business with, and buying his company. And he now is a part, Jeremy Sanchez, now part of Moraine,
which is
Group,
amazing.
Our executive search firm.
So I'm going to delay Miles by 1 minute here. We heard from Brett DeVito, who said it's impossible to give more than what I'm sorry. I've heard you both say it's important to give more than what you get back. In your opinion, why don't we see more startup businesses doing this? I personally believe that the startups that don't do this are the ones that are failing. So I don't know. I think it's a very selfish way of thinking. Why do you think more businesses don't?
Well,
their heads
we
down.
all know that it's miserable running these businesses and you have 1,000 things to do. And so it's just a priority. Like if you don't prioritize trying to help people, then it won't happen.
Yeah.
And so when we were building Buddy Media, a lot of our meetings with CMOs and others, we're just helping them understand what is the impact of Facebook and Twitter, it's called X now, and YouTube and Instagram on marketing. Right. And we would kind of get out there and say, let me just share some of our thoughts. That led to more and more people, coming in, and eventually we had 9 out of the top 10 global brands using us.
All right, so let's move to get Miles on. This is our oldest son, Miles Lazerow. He's going to come on right now, and I'm super psyched. Hey, Miles. Yes,
the shoveler hat.
You got the shoveler hat. Yeah.
God, look at that. Ooh.
And a haircut.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah,
yes.
We can hear you.
Perfect.
Just a little way of introduction, which I think is incredible, is you went to college and you majored in what? Psychology?
Yep.
And you spent the last 2 years teaching yourself AI and the importance of AI with businesses.
Yep.
And now have become an expert that huge billion-dollar companies come to you for, small businesses come to you for, to get the advice. Thank you for being here, Miles, man. And I love the company. It's named Waddle, W-A-D-L. Is that right? W-A-D-L. Yep. And welcome to National Shovel Day.
Well, thank you for having me. Ready
I
to
love
take
the
any
art
questions.
on your wall.
We got
It's really, you really gone overboard decorating your office.
we didn't get to the decoration there. Okay, first question. Why is the AI model you choose actually the least important decision?
I think it goes back to like some of the things that you guys were kind of talking about when it's on about culture, about people, about like more of the soft skills. And I think what AI kind of represents right now is like a huge commoditization of knowledge work, of things that, you would hire people to do. Like 10, 20 years ago, pay them 60 grand, 80 grand out of college. And one of those things now is, or that thinking is reminiscent of kind of the idea that the model that you're choosing doesn't actually matter, if that makes sense. Meaning like, it's more of a people play. So like if you're choosing ChatGPT, you're choosing Claude, you're choosing any of those things, I think that's the real questions people should ask are like, okay, like, who am I hiring? Who's the person that's going to be like wielding and using these tools? And because they're mostly all kind of doing the same thing. I think what matters is like the question and inputs you give, which is called context engineering. But yeah.
And can you tell us a little bit about what Waddle does and how you've been helping companies?
Yeah, so we'll go into companies and we'll run like little mini consultation phases where we really try to figure out where AI would do the best good. And then we'll go in and just implement end-to-end solutions for them. I think my moat really is understanding like people, understanding companies and where their struggles are actually at, because, well, I had 2 amazing mentors to help me with that. And I think it's the realization that I'm slowly kind of coming to is that like AI can't really replace everything, but it can amplify the people at your company. It can make those people kind of a lot better and give them the tools to be more creative. And that leads to cost reduction. That leads to more throughput. That leads to all these things.
And I'm betting that you basically, when you go into these companies, you're seeing how far apart all the different systems and procedures are. I'm betting that's what you find when you go in. Is that right?
Yeah, totally.
And so when you think of AI, I think a lot of us think of tools, right?
Yep.
Like it's going to do this. But as we've talked about AI, there's this concept of it's really an operating system, right? So it's the companies that engineer themselves around this concept of AI and automation and being human when you should be human as a company and getting rid of a lot of this other friction. Talk about your vision of how small businesses in particular should be looking at AI and thinking about it and some of the questions they should be asking.
Yeah, I think like the first thing that like really all businesses should think about, and it's super simple, just like obviously where can I like save time? Where can I make money quickly? Where can I kind of take all these tedious tasks and find a way to automate it? But I think like the bigger question you got to ask is like, after you ask those questions and after you get some answers, it's really like, how do I make sure that the work that I'm doing still holds that quality bar? It's still all the way up there. You're still hitting on quality. I think a lot of like the lessons that I've learned through this experience is AI is the shiniest thing out there right now. And you don't want to kind of fall into the trap of shiny object syndrome. You kind of want to really take your time and figure out where AI can really help.
And so talk about some of the specifics. So we all hear about AI, right? Like, so we all, everyone here is interested in, but like, without naming the names of the companies, what are some of the problems you're attacking? And you could talk about some of the stuff you've done with us at the search company.
I think like all knowledge-based work is kind of where I start. So like, I'll go in and like the prerequisite of what I do is I kind of make a huge knowledge graph, meaning like, imagine if you can have a way to have an AI or even someone go in and like accurately portray what's actually going on in the company. And I call this like an operations map. I call this like it could be like your Bible for the company. You could call it whatever you want, but this gives, I think, everyone a organized vision on what they're building and where they're kind of moving towards. And that's the prerequisite of all the automation I build, because then if everyone is all kind of communicating the same way and is all like recognizing what's actually going on in the company, then you can sprinkle automations on top. And I'll go in and I'll do some marketing automations. I'll go in and I'll do some workflow automations. But I think like where my moat is and where like the AI space is really not there yet is taking like these crawl, walk, run approaches to really understanding the company. I think that's what's needed, because all the automations on top, there are so many people that are going out and doing the same thing I'm doing on that level. There's no one who can actually embed themselves into a company like I can.
And I'll give an example to everyone listening right now. We own an executive search firm. It's called Moraine. It's one of the top in the country. And we realize that in addition to our own database and using LinkedIn tools, literally we had a team of people who had to go find potential candidates for different roles. And one of the things you did is said, okay, that's something that we could automate. Like, let us help you, like, go through job boards, go through LinkedIn, and let's figure out a way to present candidates quicker, which was a huge cost save for us, and less expensively. So that was really great. I know that you have built your own brain, which is called Lazbot. Can you talk a little bit about that? Because I just love it so much.
Yeah, so Lazbot is kind of like my co-founder / operating partner. I decided that like I'm going to bootstrap this company. So I didn't want to make an ops hire at first. So I was like, I think the best way to kind of demonstrate my capabilities was like, why not build my own kind of co-founder?
Right.
And for the last year, I've been kind of tweaking it, building it. And what's cool is like, it's the first case study, the really big one, showing that, hey, like you can build these AI agents to help you, even on like the soft skills part, even on as like a thinking partner, all these things. And by doing so, I was able to scale the company. And now we're hiring, now we're doing all these things, we're moving to the next gear. But to get more into the specifics on what Lazbot does, I don't want to nerd out too much, but like there are different kind of sections of what Lazbot can do. The first thing is always a thinking partner. So at all times I have this kind of AI on that I could talk to, spit ideas with, and it's all trained on the people I look up to. So like you guys, like a lot of stuff on how you guys think, a lot of my own teachings that I've gone throughout the years, and then just like success metrics. So like being able to talk to like the ultimate kind of business coach at all times is like, it's been pretty sticky, and it's something I'm using for myself. And then the actual ops side. So it's able to do things like schedule meetings, is able to take notes. It's able to kind of put everything in a place that an admin would do.
Right.
And like, those are the two main ones that I'm like very, very confident in like scaling. And then there's like some other features where it's like, I'll get texts sometimes that summarize like news that's applicable to Waddle, which is a big thing. So I don't have to like go out and like read news articles. They will come to me. My agent will like read through everything and just kind of like show me the signal and not the noise.
That's showing you the signal and not the noise. I love that when this was months ago, you were explaining to me that for your brain, which is very much like Dad's here, like Mike's, which is visionary, forward thinking, and you like can consume so much stuff and figure it out, you might get lost in details and tasks. So part of your Laz bot looks at your email, looks at your messages, looks at anything that comes in under Waddle, and then creates a to-do list for you, which is unreal, and prioritizes. And also the other part that I thought was hysterical is if you have to meet a deadline, this is the thing that I still laugh about. Or if like, let's just say it's even like, hey, Miles, have you stood up today enough, right? You told me you put in metrics like that. Your bot will call you or incessantly text you until you do and accomplish it, which is so brilliant.
And I think like taking a step back and going a layer deeper, I think like that's kind of like what I'm trying to figure out, which is like making a co-pilot that isn't generic, but knows me, knows my flaws and surfaces them, and can do it in an unbiased way. Because like, I think that's where the value is. A lot of these AI tools, like if you use ChatGPT, you use Claude, you use any of those things, you ask it advice, it's a lot like a yes man.
Right.
So, and that's not super, super valuable. I think what I figured out, and I'm really figuring out, is like how to strip away all the bias, how to take like the people you look up to and just like objective success that like I define or my clients would define, and kind of build a system that is constantly like comparing where you're at right now to where you want to be. And what's cool is like, if you can get that on paper and you can get that down, and just a way to like take the bias out of AI that I think I've done, then it's like when I have clients come to me on like marketing or any of those things, it's just a simple plugin because it already knows who you are. You've already done the heavy lifting.
Yeah. I remember you had taught me early on when using any of the LLMs to try to figure out how to take out bias. We have a question here from Alana Kennedy, which is, how long does it take to onboard this type of meeting scheduling operational co-pilot? Like, how long does that usually take you?
Yeah, I mean, there's a few questions in there because I look at all those as different features of the overall thing. I think like what I get my clients to like really, what I want to get them to is my own vision for myself. So it's like making a Lazbot of myself, for other clients, because I think there's the most value there. So like the whole Lazbot layer, that's taken me myself to develop a year, but to onboard, I'm doing it 2 to 4 weeks now.
Yeah.
And then what's cool is it's continuously evolving. So it's like, how do you put KPIs on these kind of things? That's a big thing in AI or a big thing in business. Like as we're evolving, like how do you actually objectively measure success? And for myself, and I think going to the AI world, the biggest success metric is, does your agent or does your AI continuously evolve?
Right. Right. And I think that's so important because when you look as a business leader, it's got to take in way more inputs than just what you started with. So that's a big deal.
What's interesting is, so Miles has taught me a lot and taught me how to program, using kind of Terminal, and I use Cursor for a lot of stuff, but Claude Code. And I started personally with just taking control of my communications. So I have agents that run, multiple times a day, about every 2 hours, that reads my iMessage, Slack, email, and basically runs triage, sets them up, with draft replies. If it's an important person I got to get back to, it kind of automatically creates to-do lists, and it basically helps me get organized so then I could focus on the most important work, which is like the thinking,
the strategic thinking.
Yeah. And so that was the first step. But what's interesting, now it knows me so well, I can then do so much other stuff because it's read my stuff for, close to 2 months now.
So it knows
So
your
it knows
voice.
how I write, knows my voice, knows who's important, who's not
Priority.
important. And it's the foundational layer for an operating system that eventually I'll be able to do work with. I have a company that we're raising money for, and my fundraising helper is an extension of this agent.
Right.
And so I say, hey, who are the 10 family offices I should talk to about this? Okay, use my address book, contacts, use my HubSpot, which is my CRM, use my third-party data services that I subscribe to, one of them being PitchBook. And it not only prioritizes who to talk to, will find their information if I don't have it, draft an email of why this, basically a personal email of why they should pay attention to this business. And that would have been the job of an analyst, or an assistant, which would have cost me 60 to 100 grand a year.
100%. We have a question. What are the 1 or 2 mindset shifts that people need to make to think about AI differently? What do you think that is?
I think the first thing that comes to my head is AI is not going to take your job. I think like if you're an entrepreneur and you think that, like you're just going to end up failing. I think like the way you got to see this is AI is an amplifier of who you actually are. That's all it is. And if you start delegating tasks to AI that got you into business in the first place, whether that's how you sell, whether that's how you market, any of that stuff, and you start delegating more and more and more things that kind of take your secret sauce and you give it to the AI, then you're going to start to lose. I think where AI is great is you could be methodical about sprinkling in parts that will just cut down on the tedious tasks, or that will amplify your thinking, that you can be a thought partner with. But I see a lot of businesses kind of go in and just try to throw AI at everything. And those are the first businesses that I've seen personally fail with AI.
Right.
I think another thing, I think AI is also very overwhelming.
Yes.
I think that a mindset that I kind of subscribed to late, and this took me a while, but it's good, and I don't know how many people this applies to, is you might feel like you're missing out on this gold rush, but 99.9% of the AI updates and the things that are dropping is just noise.
Right.
Like,
that's good to know.
And I mean that in terms of like, yes, it's super interesting stuff, but does like a Claude update or a GPT update or any of these things directly change or update your business thesis? Is it going to increase revenue in the next month or 2, or is it just creating FOMO?
Right.
like it's as simple as that. And what's cool is like, and I'm not trying to plug myself or anything here. You could create an AI agent that deals with your own FOMO. Like you can go out and create an agent that will scour through Twitter, scour through all these businesses, do all the research for you, and give you like a draft at like 9 p.m. when you're about to go to bed. And you don't have to worry about all the stuff that is going on in AI because you created a system that does that for you. So I think like that thinking about like taking a step back and realizing kind of like what the signal versus noise kind of ratio is there, if that makes sense, and making sure that you only want your eyes on like the top leverage things is a big thing in AI. And you can kind of use AI to your advantage to do that.
I love that. And I'm assuming this is exactly what you can do for all your clients out there.
Yep.
Mike, what other questions?
Yeah, so let's get like super tactical for a second. We have, according to the live stream, about 180,000 people looking at this live stream. And many of them will not be able to work with you because you don't have the bandwidth.
Yeah.
I'm running a business, a small business. Where do I start? So where should I, as a small business owner, start in this world of AI? In your mind, like if they want to teach themselves, if they want to start exploring, if they want to even start building, what do you recommend? Specific tools like go here and do this.
Yeah. I think like YouTube is what taught me everything. So I was able to watch and find a lot of YouTubers, a lot of people that were thought leaders. And like, I think I have decent taste. So I'm able to kind of sniff out what is just marketing and what's actual value, like what's actual value add, like depth, stuff like that. And then if you're just starting with AI, the same thing I also tell people is ask like all your questions to a chatbot. Like every question that you'd want to go out and ask like a mentor or kind of hire someone else to think about, or like a family member or whatever, do that, but also ask your chatbot. And you're going to start to see, if you make this a daily practice over time, the kind of similarities in the answers that they're going to come back with. And you'll start to question them. That's what I did. So after a week, I was like, okay, this AI is like kissing my ass. So I started asking him like, hey, like, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? And I got really, really, really curious. And I started going down a rabbit hole of just being like, okay, like what is happening here? I pretty much asked questions over and over and over again, like what's happening here? And what's cool is you can now get really good at AI and get good at this thing by just doing it. Like you don't need to practice. Like the only way to get good at it is just like kind of like failing over and over and over again and just talking to your AI over and over and over again. So I think those two are the big things. So like use like YouTube, you could look at Twitter, you can look at all those things, but like the biggest thing and 90% of the time is just like, you need to engage with AI. You need to chat. You need to talk to it for 20 to 25 minutes a day, and you'll start to recognize patterns very fast.
So if we take the assumption that at some point, every operator, whether it's running a company, running a group within a company, running a team, running a project, everyone who's kind of like running something, operating, will have an AI co-pilot, right? I just like Zuck right now is building his AI co-pilot. Where should people go to start building theirs and experimenting? Because I got AI for a while, right? Like I've been investing in machine learning. We did AI deals, you know, at our venture fund. But honestly, I didn't understand it until I started building with your push. So where specifically should they go in your mind? I know it doesn't matter which one, but just to start building that AI co-pilot of their own.
I would look at Anthropic and what they're doing. So I'd get Claude. They have a desktop app, super simple.
Is it Claude Code? Claude
no.
Co-work?
So Claude Co-work, I think would be a pretty good place to start. So I would actually start at just chatting. So like that kind of goes back to what I was talking about. So just chatting, be very curious. And then like, you'll kind of look over at the Claude Co-work tab. You'll be like, what is this? You see skills, you see tasks and everything. Then you go back to the chat and you can even ask it, hey, what is Claude Co-work? And then next thing you know, you spend a whole afternoon kind of like setting up Claude skills, doing what my dad has done. And then if you really want to kind of spin up MVPs and kind of get demos out really quickly, then you could go to Claude Code, which is the like kind of final evolution of it, where you can start to just create software very, very quick. Not now, like you're not going to be creating like really sophisticated software with this tool at this point, but it's, for me, at least when I was first starting off, you would make like being able to make like really good like mock-ups, MVPs, stuff like that is super,
Right.
super good.
Well, now it's more than that. I mean, now kind of,
Yeah.
I use Claude Code for all of my kind of agents at this point. And I don't know how to code, but what's so weird is we're used to using technology on an island, right? Like the tech is in front of us and we're like on YouTube trying to figure out how to use it, right? And this, when you hit a wall, you're just like, I'm confused. What do I do next? Or you take a screenshot of a page on like Google admin. You're like, what should I push here? It's like super confusing. And literally Claude says, do this, 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 and this. That's a different mind shift where builders are used to just building in kind of on an island without any help.
Yeah. I mean, the gap between kind of what an engineer is and what a CEO is doing or a thinker is closing. I think the mode
What do you
is
think of this idea?
Yeah.
Wait. I want to, before you hear an idea, I want to get to a question that someone had. So at Unplugged, Unfiltered Podcast said, Miles, do you give your LLMs custom instructions like on how to interact with you?
Yes. I probably have like a 40-page book on that. So like instead of like a simple kind of text file, which you can do like at the beginning of a prompt, I store something. So when I talk to an AI, it reads all this context on me first and then responds.
So like, give me like a simple example, like what you would do if you were building me a bot, a brain.
Well, I think the first thing I would say is very type A. Very type A, needs things organized.
More than me.
We could get to you after, but very, very, very type A. I'd give like a prompt to get there. So maybe I would go in and write that prompt. But a cool another exercise is you can, if you've already used ChatGPT, you've used Claude, you can ask it another prompt, you give like a meta prompt being like, hey, based on the last 20 or 30 conversations, tell me all you know about me. And then you would take that output and put it into the first prompt that I'd get you set up with. That would say type A, organized, really good at pickleball, like all these things. And then yeah, I would read that. I would have the AI read that over and over again. So at the beginning of each session, so it knows how you think, who you are, and you could really take that kind of experiment that I'm laying out really far.
Okay, that's awesome. Another question. What's one simple AI system or workflow you think every operator should have in place right now?
Ooh, I think like the email triage thing that I got my dad to do is big. I don't know if that would be the first thing I would do, but like as you're scaling, like, and this is just like I'm talking from my experience and like I bet your guys' experience, we're flooded with like inbound messages, we're flooded with communication. So a way to like interact with those emails in a more digestible way, I think, could be a cool first build. And then I think like something else that could be pretty low hanging fruit is like a news radar thing that I was talking about. So like, let's say you are like, you also are an AI startup, or okay, let's say you do like a social media marketing agency. What would be cool is like if you had a system that was built that would kind of go through all these other social media marketing agencies, that would go through all the news relevant to you and kind of give you like a competitor analysis every day, kind of give you like insights into like what you should be doing, what you shouldn't be doing, what like the market is saying, et cetera. And those things can be built pretty easily in Claude.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
We have another question. Have you looked into building a second brain with Obsidian? And what are some great ways for a non-tech person to get started doing that?
Yeah. That's a really good question. I know on all these social media outlets, like that's the big thing. What's cool is like Obsidian is just kind of like the viewer of it. And I don't want to get too technical, But I think like the idea of that is what context engineering is. So you have like 20, 30, 40 markdown files or just files that say different things. And then you want a way to kind of like query and go in on all of them. It's pretty easy to actually set up. Like you could use Claude Code and Claude Cowork to set it up and just ask questions like, hey, I want to build this Obsidian Vault. I want to increase revenue by X amount. I want everything in this Vault to be like a direct kind of contributor to that. Let's like space everything out, meaning like, here are my competitors. Here's what I do well. Here's not. And then you put an AI agent around it, in this case, Claude, and you could query it.
That's awesome. We have a bunch of people asking if you'd be open to doing a walkthrough of AI approaches on exec teams. So we're going to share your email for sure. Another question is, I'd love your thought on Perplexity.
I love Perplexity. I think Perplexity is kind of like the model agnostic cursor, but for search. I think that Perplexity, the way it works, if you don't know how it works, is it takes like 5 to 10 other AI models and it kind of queries your search through all of them. So like if I'm like Googling something, it would hit 5 to 10 models first and then give you a response based on that query. So I love it. I think it's the future of search, and it's the future of like something that would replace Google if it got to that. And I use it, like I only use that over Google.
Two things before I go. Your brother Cole said he needs to learn how to take the bias out of his AI. Wants to talk to you about that. Your sister's on from Northwestern, happy and saying, I have such a smart family. That's very cute, Viv. If you had to think about all the different tools, like we talked about Obsidian, we talked about Claude, we're talking about Perplexity. Do you want to run down like the ones and how you think about them and what currently people are using and what they should replace them with? In terms of
I think like the people, I want to be careful because I don't think there's a wrong answer anymore. I think if this was a conversation we had a year ago, while everyone was on ChatGPT, I would say, get over to Anthropic, get over to something where you can actually customize it, etc. I think that like that question, like the way I'd answer that is like, if you are just stuck chatting with an AI, no matter what it is, and let's get you over to Claude because that's what my recommendation is, you should go from the chat to the co-work session. You should make that jump to be able to like actually start automating things. I think instead of asking again, and this is the first question you asked, like what tool do I use? It's what's actually making you scared to engage with AI. And that's kind of what I go in and realize with a lot of my clients, because like the product market right now in AI is so user-friendly from where it was a year ago that like the things that are stopping people to actually use them are themselves because they're scared. It makes sense. It's a new technology. But I would say that like if the majority of people are stuck chatting, if you just start dipping your feet in automation, use Claude Cowork, or if you really want to run into it, like Claude Code, and you just start like messing around because you like creating stuff, you like having fun, and that's it, you'll get a lot out of it.
That's amazing. That's awesome.
When you think of, so take the AI hat off. You've now been running your business for a year. You're an entrepreneur. What are some of the cheat codes that you now know that you wish you knew when you launched your business?
Oh, AI can't solve everything. Relationships are the biggest currency. I loved exactly what Maha said about that. Your reputation's everything. And I think AI amplifies the speed of these learnings, meaning like I've failed so many times in such a short amount of time that without AI I couldn't do. And I couldn't learn from, I couldn't excel, I couldn't move forward. So I think that relationships are currency. I think that like it's hard. It's really hard at first to really understand where the value is and what to price at. I think like getting super specific on that in such like a new world is super hard. So I think transparency with customers about this is something that I would lean into, especially around AI. Like you don't have to kind of put up a shtick that you see on Instagram where you have these AI agencies, you have these people who are like thought leaders on AI, because like what's really happening is like I subscribe to the idea that like maybe some people know what's going on, but like nobody actually really knows what's going on. So like let's just be honest. Let's like try our best to provide value and let's over communicate. I think those are like the biggest things that I've kind of learned.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Can you tell us about the part you just said about failures? Because I think it's a big deal to say that you failed fast.
Yes.
You know, we always look at our entrepreneurs and we always say, we're not afraid in a business model if you fail with something. We just need you to fail quickly. And tell us about, like you said, it helped you to fail faster and take those learnings, right? And that's what helped you to get where you are today.
Yeah. And, you know, it's funny because like AI is the tool, but it's not the person. Like the person needs to be willing to fail. AI is just going to allow you to do that quicker. And the kind of like what I mean by that is like, I have a million ideas a second. And like most entrepreneurs do, like I have ADD, like Dad, I know you do too. So like you're doing that too. And this is the first time in history we're able to get all that down and just like spit it out to something. And what I do is from all of that, I have a very low or high risk tolerance. So I'll just run with some of those ideas and just like start throwing those ideas at a board, hoping something sticks.
Right.
Now, the question is like, how does AI help you fail faster? It only does if you're willing to like operationalize and use those ideas that you're spitting into an AI and collaborating with. And I think that that's the biggest point, because like, it's no longer like, hey, I need to speak to my business advisor, get their permission to do something, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It's like, no, you have a world-class business advisor in your hand. And you're able to just screw up over and over and over again in such a good way. When I say screw up, I mean learn from your mistakes, because not everything AI is telling you is going to be the perfect thing because it doesn't know you, but you're able to shoot so many shots that over time you're forced to learn.
Right. Right. That's huge. David Honig has a question, our favorite. He said, what are the most exciting problems you're pumped to solve for businesses and why?
Ooh, I think like I'm trying to solve like this unbiased thing on like just a bigger level, meaning like I think people in their companies don't even really know what's going on. And I've seen this very like apparently. And like, if I can put an AI into a company that is objective enough to give an answer about what's going on and understands the founders, it understands the people, it understands all those relationships, it understands those things. If I can like kind of scope that out for the next, like this is like a 5 to 10 year project that I'm really obsessed with, I think I can create a 60 to 70% way to give like crazy, accurate, truthful visibility from every layer about what's going on. And AI would be kind of like just the wedge to get me in there, the way to communicate, the way to kind of see everything. I think that's one. Another thing is like I talked about earlier, and I like David, I know you're doing this, is like now that I've made AI, now that I'm like, you know, charging for it, now that I'm helping customers out, is like, how do we accurately measure KPIs?
Right.
And I know that you're doing that. And that's something that if you're a smart business owner in AI and running a company and you care about your customers, you need to be transparent about that. You need to be able to put that down and say, hey, X, Y, and Z are why you're increasing revenue, increasing any of these things. And that's a huge problem in AI because the technology is so new that it's hard to actually objectively measure where success is happening. So
that's such a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, this has been awesome. You know, we did a webinar with you, which I think blew our mind and a lot of the people. I think this is just the beginning. So we should keep it going. And you picked a great space to be in. You know, I've told you this. I'm jealous that you're coming into the work world with really the first generation of workers who have AI in a real way. And Kass and I were talking about this idea of like, you know, this book we wrote, you know, Shoveling Shit, a Love Story. We're going to have to rewrite it because a lot of the stuff, it's if you think about when it came out, June of last year, it was one of the last business books to come out before AI, right? And so the playbooks that we had building our business have to be not thrown away, but infused with this new operating system, which can help with culture and fundraising and all the stuff that's like focused that's in this. So
okay, last question before you go. I know you got 1 minute. Your sister Viv at Northwestern just asked a question. Miles, what's your biggest advice for students right now?
Oof. I don't know how censored I should be. I think like what school is supposed to teach you now and what people need to realize, and I think the smart ones really do, and a lot of people are now, is that like school is supposed to teach you how to work hard. And if you can work hard, AI isn't going to come for your job. A lot of the things they teach you in class, and this is from firsthand my experience, you can, like a lot of the tasks, a lot of the things that they want you to know in these knowledge-based classes, that's going away, or it's being restructured. It's no longer like, okay, like what is your knowledge around a certain subject? It's more like, how hard can you prompt the AI to get that out?
Right.
And I think that goes back to the soft skill, which is just like, put your head down and just work hard. Like it's as simple as that. Like AI isn't going to teach you how to do that. Like it just comes from you.
You and I said this the other day. We were going through a stock option plan, right? We were going through business questions, and actually I was talking to your bot. I was talking to Laz bot. And you talked about how, like, yeah, you could have learned it in college, but you were really working hard to figure out like what you wanted to align with and what drove your passion. Clearly you found it, but I think you're right. College is about working hard, learning how to live and play with others, right? It's your first experience other than parents. And
is this your advice or
no, I'm just giving it. I think it's also, I do want to hear what you would say though, in terms of AI for Viv. Viv wants to be a doctor.
Yeah. I think like
she needs to know AI.
Yeah.
Right?
So it's cool because you want to be able to, like, you don't want to get too into my world because then you start getting obsessed and creating automations and all this stuff. And I've seen that. But what you do want to do is like be methodical about the parts you can automate. So like Viv, we talked about this a little bit, but it's like, imagine having after a lecture, all those notes and the full recording and everything kind of pumped into an AI, and it automatically scribes and makes a transcript and converts it into the way that Vivi learns.
Right.
Like that's a super useful tool that's not hard to make. And that's kind of taking school and just converting into a way for Viv to learn better.
Right.
You create those very simple automations that like take your whole course material. And let's say like I have dyslexia. So like it was hard for me to learn, and I have ADHD. So it's also hard for me to pay attention to things I don't want to. But it's hard for me to do a lot of things. Like that's okay. If I had in school a way to take all, like, I'm not going to bash the curriculum right now, but take all the boring material and kind of convert it into a way that would make it more enjoyable. It would inspire me more to like actually want to learn this stuff and connect the dots between like, okay, if I'm learning about history right now, the question I'd always have is like, why is this applicable to me? Like, I don't want to do this. But if I had a way to convert that to like, okay, maybe you should know history because this history is going to teach you about the Great Depression, and the Great Depression is going to teach me about like failure and all these things, then it would have clicked to my mind, and it would have been like, okay, like maybe I should learn about this. So you can use it as a way to motivate you in that way and kind of create an automation around that. And then like take a step back. It's just like, just talk to people about this stuff.
Right.
Like get frustrated, you know, like that's what I was kind of doing in school. I was trying to find my people that were also like, wait, ChatGPT can do this, like whatever. Find those people, and instead of like trying to cheat the system, just like talk to them about their frustration. Try to create a way for you to learn better, because that's going to give you such a competitive advantage. Yeah. There's no better way to demonstrate critical thinking than like finding a third door, finding a different way to really do something.
Love it. All right, Miles, man, I appreciate you. I love you. Thank you so much. This
Thank
is
you.
awesome. Everybody, we put in how to reach Miles if you're interested in working with him on the chats and on the different social networks that we're on live right now. Thanks, buddy.
Thank you.
Talk to you later. Okay, that was really awesome. Like, I also love the family love. I think that made me very happy.
That was nice.
We also have right now, I did want to go over a bunch of stuff that he talked about. I think the operations mindset is a really good use case for AI and small businesses, and like the first step. I love that he talked about just talking to your bot. Like just for everyone to know, like, I'm a typer. He literally was just talking, right? Talking into his bot. And so I think that's huge. We just got news that one of our best friends, Jeff Ragavan, is going to come on. So hopefully our team can get Jeff on. There he is. Look, he's wearing his shoveler hat. Yes.
I had it special delivered, like, by plane, East Hampton. I can't believe you guys offer that option.
Yeah, I know, right? It's like a overnight, right?
How are you guys?
We're good. We are talking to one of our best friends in the whole world, Jeff Ragavan, our co-founder of Buddy Media, one of the godfathers of our middle son, Cole. And Jeff, you have your venture business. You have so many different businesses. There are two things I want you to talk about.
Yeah.
The importance of relationships and not asking for something and being transactional off the bat. And second, how you use AI in your life and business.
Totally. Well, I love that Miles actually talked about relationships, right? So I feel like that was a very natural segue.
Yeah.
I mean, relationships are everything, right? Period. We've all worked together for so many years, obviously 2007 to our exit in 2012. And that's where, like, we built the most amazing relationships with, like, people who are running digital marketing for the biggest brands in the world that weren't a CMO yet, but today they are. And so I think it's so important that you kind of foster relationships with people and, like, think about how you can give and give again,
right.
And maybe even give again until you get.
Right. That's something that nobody gets.
And how do you do that? Like, so Jeff is one of probably the best salesperson, relationship person people I've ever met. What does your day look like? How do you do that specifically?
Well, it's a lot. I'm kind of like, all day long, I'm kind of just I have, like, so many different businesses. I mean, I'm a total shoveler, and I love it. It gets me excited. And when I get, like, things actually, that produce, like, plants after I've, planted the seed, it's like adrenaline for me, right? So I have this series called The Digital Fork that I launched. It's something that I've always done, in all my businesses as kind of the marketing budget. It's a dinner series. I invite like 16 CMOs. I host the room. No one's allowed to, cross-contaminate. I moderate the conversation so everyone really gets to know each other, right? Those dinners were just part of my marketing budget to produce relationships and not sell. I think too many people will do a dinner and they're like, boom, transaction. Right. Hey, do you want to buy my software? Right. Like, that happens down the line. You have to get to know people. And so, I do the Digital Fork now for a lot of tech companies because they need help. It's a lot of work to get the right people, the ideal customer profile, get them to open up and talk in a way that you're not selling. I think even me being like a seller my entire career, I'm not a seller. I mean, I am, but like, I try to understand people for who they are first instead of just transaction.
I also think you've done a really good job, an excellent job at knowing people beyond what you want to get out of them. So you make relationships that are deep, you care about the details, and you've always brought that up in the relationships. So you care if there's a family thing going on, or if the details of their passions, whether it's, fly fishing and whatever, like, that's the stuff that I learned from you, which I think I applied in our recruiting processes with Pam Schloss.
Yes.
Is that if we can learn about candidates, right, beyond just that we want them to come work with us and they're a great fit, how do we get them to want to work with us? It's that relationship. So we learned their passions, their hobbies, and then we gave like gifts to them even before they decided to come work with us. You do that a lot too. You're a very generous person. And I'm assuming that generosity, which you said could happen, you might be having some kind of communication 3 or 4 times before it pays off, but it does pay off, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think think about a deal cycle, right? Like you meet someone at an event or you get introduced to someone. If you sell to them right at that moment, they're gonna be like, "Oh God." It's
Right.
like, come on, right? But then if you actually get to know people, understand their problems, understand where you could apply whatever you might be selling to them in a very smart way, you have to gather those
Right.
pieces of information first, right?
Right.
And so I think it's so interesting with Miles really just kind of going deep on the AI side. Like I love using AI. Like I don't think I would be able to produce the amount of work that I do now because I've got 4 different revenue streams with 3 different businesses.
Right.
It doesn't do the work for me, but it helps me automate things and keeps me on track, right?
Can you
So
tell
I
us
think
a little bit more about that? Just tell us how you're using it on a daily basis.
so. I love Claude Cowork.
Yeah.
I find it to be incredible for certain things and not so great for others. I think if you need to like create presentation decks, it's not all that great. If you're very prescriptive and you tell it exactly what you need and you upload the assets, then it could probably help you. But if you're looking to just create something that's very custom, you still need to be a human.
Right. Right.
But as far as like, I've got multiple websites that I've built, with Cowork. That's just amazing. And it's like, it also taught me how to upload in like cPanel. I don't do that stuff. Like now
How long did it take to build a new website? Because I know what it takes for us. Like, we've got to call our engineer.
I mean, I used to do the same thing. I don't do that anymore. Now I do it myself. I built 3 new websites in like, I don't know, a weekend. But like
That's amazing.
a lot of iterating, debugging,
Right.
QAing, like, because it's not just a website. There's Stripe integrations. There's, you got to connect everything. But I think what Miles was saying is like, just do it, play with it, see how it learns, see how it does the JavaScript, see how it, adds all these different things on the go. It taught me so many things already. Like, I love it. It is addictive, I will say, because it's like, I want to create something, that's going to organize my entire CRM, or like, hey, like, remind me to do this. It's great.
That's awesome. And if you had one thing to tell people either about AI or relationships and your success, in your career, what would you want to tell everybody here?
I would say the most important thing is to build connections, not just contracts. I think that's the biggest fail today, right now in the industry. So many sellers out there that are not getting their deals done because they're focusing too much on like, I got to hit my number. I got to get this deal closed, that they're missing the bigger picture, which is long-term contracts, right? Not just a quick hit and then you might fail. And so AI could help us do everything in the world, but we still need to interact with people and we still need to present and be human, right? So AI is great, but like, you have to be human.
All right. That's awesome. Thank you, Mr. Jeff. We love you.
Thanks, Jeff.
Love you guys.
Appreciate you being here. Keep shoveling. That was awesome. I love that Jeff got on.
Yeah, it's awesome.
So do you want to, before we get MJ on, we're a little late. I did want to talk about another package that we have, which is the farm council meeting. Did we talk about that one yet?
That's at kassandmike.com
Yep.
/shovel. We have not. We talked about the Harvest Mentorship Program, which is 101, VIP dinner, April 29th. But why don't you talk about this new idea we have?
For those of you that, don't want the one-on-one or can't afford it with us, we made a package where you can join other peers. There's going to be a group. It's very select.
It's just 5 people.
Just 5 people. And you have 10 minutes to tell us your biggest problem. And Mike and I are going to help you solve it, as well as other peers in the industry. So we took 10% off all those prices for the 2 programs. And if you want to go to kassandmike.com/shovel, join and sign up. Great.
And that one came out of, we had the farm council, we had the, these meetings of the community, and the part that everyone kept talking about is like, I want to talk about a specific problem I have. that's interesting content for other founders. And so we kind of productize that in just 5 people with us, going deep on their issues.
Awesome.
So,
all right. So let's bring in MJ. So Mike Jandal, let's bring him. And hello, MJ.
What's up? How are you?
This guy. So like Jeff Ragabin, Mr. Jeff, we have known Mike Jandal, we call him MJ, for a long time, over 15 years now. And it's a privilege and honor to work with someone who's on my side. You share some of the operations side with me, which I love, but you're also incredibly creative. You're now the GM of Stanley, and you're running all LinkedIn. And previously you've been a CEO, a CRO, right? And founder, entrepreneur, chief customer officer. Tell us what you're doing at LinkedIn Stanley now.
Yeah, so Stanley, what we're doing is we're helping individuals and we're helping companies grow their LinkedIn. So it's as simple as that. It's really important nowadays, especially with all of the conversation. I heard a little bit of it earlier talking about AI. The distribution moat is now your personal brand. So it's super important for all employees, all founders, any business operators to grow their social presence and use that social presence for distribution if you need it later. Right. So we're helping companies do that through a product that we call Stanley for Business. And then we're also helping individuals do that through a product that we call Stanley. And Stanley gets to know you, gets to know the content that you're creating online, either through LinkedIn and otherwise. And then it'll create posts in your style, your voice, no AI slop, and factored into all of the performance metrics in LinkedIn so that when you post something, it performs well. So that's what we're building. We're super excited about it.
Well, what's interesting to me about this is your journey to Stanley. So you were running businesses, and at some point you started getting very serious about LinkedIn. And out of all of our friends and colleagues and partners, you nailed it. And the engagement was through the roof. Can you talk about kind of your personal journey? Because I think a lot of people, out of the 180,000 people tuning in today, a lot of those people are looking like they have LinkedIn. So there's no one here who doesn't have LinkedIn. They may be posting and sharing, but they're not getting the traction. Can you talk about just your journey and what led to where you are now?
For sure. I saw a couple things going on that were really interesting. One was personal, as just invisible online. So over time, I had built this career, like, thank you for the intro, Kass, but I had built this career, but was basically invisible. And I think a lot of people that are listening probably feel that as well. So, you'd have done a lot, but not a lot of people knew that you had done a lot. So that was definitely me in a nutshell. And so I started thinking about changing that and wanting to change that. I also saw businesses getting built off of distribution that people had already created. So whether that was on X or LinkedIn or other platforms, I saw creators launching businesses and quickly growing them to 1, 2, 3 million in revenue over the course of weeks. And so when you see that happening, you kind of understand the power of distribution. And you understand that if you have distribution, it makes your optionality a lot stronger and wider. So, I caught that early in 2024. I started posting on LinkedIn every day. And my only goal was really just post every day. And I hope that turned into growth. But I did commit to the consistency was what was important. And at the same time, I was a CRO of an e-commerce business called Miva. So I was posting, I was growing my audience. And through that posting, I actually met the founders of Stan and Stanley, which is a $35 million plus ARR business in the creator economy space. They found me because they saw my LinkedIn traction. And now we're working together to grow the Stanley business. So without that distribution, without building that, the opportunity that I'm at right now would have never happened to materialize. So I think whether you're an employee at a company, just kind of looking for your next job, whether you're a founder looking to build your business, or whether you're just trying to build a small business or something on the side, having distribution is super important. So I I kind of lived that. I saw that arc, and now at Stanley helping others do the same thing.
So when you started posting every day in 2024, right? So we're 2 years in. What was your growth? What did you start at?
It sucked so bad. My first month was like 150 no followers. My second month, I know specifically because it's like I always look back on it. I'm like, oh my god, that was the low point. My second month, and now we're talking like every single day. I've been posting 60 plus posts. I grew by 57 followers. Each one of my posts was getting like 3 to 4 likes on every single post. And one of those was my wife, because I was telling her to post on every post every day. So I'm like, can you please like do this? My employees on my team, I was posting in Slack every day. I was like, can you please like and comment? And they wouldn't even do it. And so I was like getting the standard, 2, 3, 4, 5 likes on every single post. And that continued on for about 100 posts, I would say, before I started to understand what was working, start to get some traction. And then the algorithm does, on the LinkedIn side at least, rewards consistency. So once you're posting over a longer time horizon, and then you're posting about something that's very specific, LinkedIn starts to pick up on it and say, this person's actually contributing content. They're being pretty consistent with their content. We're going to like distribute it a little bit wider. And so I was rewarded from that consistency, and my content started to do better. And then I was doing like a lot of commenting on other posts, which is important. So I was commenting on other creators. Those creators got to know me. They would comment on my posts, and that reciprocity turned into more distribution.
Right. So now you're 65,000 plus followers on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And I'm assuming that Stanley took you because of this expertise, that you understand LinkedIn, you understand the importance of having that brand, your own personal brand and personal following on LinkedIn. When people think about LinkedIn, and Maha talked about this earlier, they think, okay, I just got to get a job there, right? No, right? This is the place to amplify your voice. Can you tell me why Stan decided to hire creators instead of applicants?
Yeah, that's a great point. And it's interesting. I was just having lunch with someone on my team. She's also a creator. She's on our partnerships team. She has 30,000 followers. A lot of the folks that are working here are creators. One of the big pieces is they get the platforms that we're building. Number two is they understand like what it feels like to be a creator. Like it sucks a lot. Like especially in the beginning, they kind of have gone through what I went through and all of the pain of posting into the void, feeling like you're going to be judged based on what you're posting, feeling like you're going to be cringy and not wanting to put that side of yourself out there. They've kind of lived through that, so they can sympathize with the folks that we're helping. And then the third thing is that distribution just helps. When someone is coming in and they have that distribution that they're bringing along with them, when we launch a new product, they are able to talk about it, and we can start to grow that product faster. So I'll give you a couple examples. One on the product side and revenue growth, and then a second on the company growth side. So we did a challenge. We did a 30-day challenge. All of the employees at the company, some of which had bigger audiences, some of which had smaller audiences, would all post for 30 days on LinkedIn. And we were looking to grow the team, and we were launching a new product. We launched Stanley, the product that I manage now. And so over those 30 days, we did 150 posts across a team of 40 people. We drove 12,000 engagements across all of that. We took the product from 0 to 1.5 million in revenue in just like a few weeks after launching it. And we hired 7 people. So through all of that hiring, we had through all of that posting, we had open positions, and we're trying to fill them. So we avoided like $200,000 in fees and support to get those employees on board. Yeah. So it is,
but that's a mindset shift change from a founder or business leader point of view, that employees can be welcomed with big personal followings, right? That
yes,
founders need to change their point of view of that and not say, oh no, you can't post anything about the company.
I think that's the biggest mindset shift that like a business owner needs to make right now. And the thing that you need to understand is like company pages don't work. Like they never, people don't people are interested in people. We know that they don't engage with company pages. And right now you're seeing that, and like all of the data is there to prove it. So if your strategy is one, we're going to post in our company page, that's fine. I think that's table stakes. You need to be there, but you have to understand it's not going to move the needle drastically. And then, number two is you have to understand that like your employees don't want to post the company message all the time.
Right.
When you're thinking about creating an audience, which again is which I think everybody should be doing, is like building their audience. They're going to want to post about things they're interested in. They're going to want to post their own content. And I think business owners need to be supportive of that. And that's going to be 90% of the content. 10% of the content they post will be about the company and about conversion. But if they want to grow their brand, about 90% of that content will be about other things and things that they're interested in. And so it's important for, founders, business owners to support that. I think it's really good for the business, but it's really good for the employees too. It's like being a good company includes supporting folks growing their career. Like we always talk about career coaching. How can you learn new skills within a company and how can you build your career? Part of building your career today is building an audience. So
and
I think
not being afraid. I think there's so many founders out there that are afraid that somehow their employees are going to surpass their awareness or whatever. I think when we all worked together, we were just happy there were more experts in the room that were smarter than me, right? So I have a question here that someone asked, which is, what's something you believed about LinkedIn growth early on that turned out to be completely wrong?
Like the thing that I thought when I first started posting was content quality is the measure that will translate to performance. So I was just like, like I said, I was failing for like 3 months straight. I really had no traction at all. And I was posting every day very consistently through that. So the thing that I thought through those first 3 months is like my posts need to get better. They need to get better. They need to get better. So I was like copying other creators, taking pre-validated posts, using them, that sort of thing. Not a lot of those tactics were working. I was really analyzing like what works, what kind of formats work, etc. None of that really moved the needle. What I found in the beginning was engagement on LinkedIn is really important. It's not as important on other platforms like Instagram and TikTok, etc., because those platforms aren't audience-based platforms. They're like content-based platforms. So the content alone can go viral. On LinkedIn, it's an audience-based platform, meaning they're only distributing your content to your followers first. And then based on the engagement of that, it'll get distributed further. So you do need to be commenting on other creators' posts and be DMing them and be creating those connections. That's super important. It's just as important as creating good content. So when you think about growth and the investment that you're making into growth, you have to create great content, but then you also have to like engage and comment. So like that was a big mindset shift for me after those first 3 months of like, I have to carve out a little time today, but even if it's a few messages, I'll send those messages, send those comments out and like connect with others. But I will say that's opened up a lot of opportunities for me. Like I've met a lot of great founders. I've met a lot of great creators. I've expanded my network. So there are benefits other than just engagement on your posts.
Yeah. I think Maha was talking about this too, that she spends 15 minutes every single day and she has it on her calendar to build relationships. And what you're saying is LinkedIn is the best place to build relationships. And 100%. If you do that authentically, it will pay off in more ways than just followers, which is huge. Mike and I hired you guys and your team to help us. This just happened a week ago. What I saw, I don't know if you saw, Stanley helped me on
I saw it.
You saw it. You saw it. Yeah, Stanley helped me. And I saw something like 4 times in terms of views and growth, like 4x growth. It was amazing. And it was literally, what's crazy is we all think we're doing it right. I'm sure this is what you meant by failing. Like, what do you mean? This is a good piece of content. Like I wrote it correctly. But what Stanley knows is, how do people want to receive the information? What's the best hook? What's the order of information in your story? Because Maha's right, it's storytelling. What's the correct order? And then how do you leave it with your audience that you're trying to build so that they engage, right?
Yes, exactly. And like the key to that story that that worked was, you told an emotional story, you gave specific examples, and then you like ended with a point that like a lot of people could relate to, like a wide audience, which is like adding value first and caring,
Right.
and it was like a universal emotional appeal. And so those are the things that we're trying to, like, we're looking at posts, and we've looked at 4 million, LinkedIn posts, and we're saying, which are the ones that are performing? Let's use that structure. Let's recreate it. And like, let's help other creators story tell in that way. And, that post was, AI was used to create it, but it's literally written in your voice authentically because it's your story. It's like your story. Stanley knew it because it had context from your book, and it was able to write something
Right.
that like was truly your story. But yeah.
All right. Another question from a audience member here is, should you be very intent on the connections you make on LinkedIn? Meaning, I get so many connection requests from people who aren't the focus of my personal brand growth.
Yeah, great question. The way that I would look at it is, how important is growth in general to you? And typically what I'll see founders, if they're like starting this kind of like, or not founders, anybody who's looking to grow in like 100 to 500 follower range, if you're getting a lot of inbound connection requests, there are people who accept all of them in the beginning. Okay, so why would you do that? It's like it's noisy. The reason why you would do that is because when you have a connection with someone, they're more likely to see your content. If you're
Right.
connected with them versus just they're following you, they're more likely to see your content. So you're starting to build this base of engagement, which is important on LinkedIn. So I know creators who up to 5,000 followers, they just accepted every connection request. But then once they've hit that number, once they've hit a number like 2,000 or 5,000, they stop that practice. And now they're only accepting ones that like truly matter. Somebody that's in their ICP, someone they wanted to connect with, someone they look up to, whatever it is, a prospect potentially if you're using it for selling. So that's what I would say. It's like, if you have an extremely small audience today and you're looking to like go from 0 to 1 and start growing your account, just accept them. You'll get some more engagement from them. Maybe they're not even your ICP, but once you start growing, you start hitting this number like 2, 3, 4,000. You probably stop that practice. You could they'll still follow you if they send you a connection request. Never delete a connection request. Like don't not accept. You'd rather leave it like unread, because they're still following you versus like not accepting, and then you kind of block the connection. So but there's accept ones that are kind of more mean something to you.
What there's a few questions in here with basically asking like, what types of LinkedIn posts these days are driving engagement? It used to be like carousels and all video and back to text. Like, talk about format.
One of the challenges on LinkedIn is the algorithm keeps changing. So it's like, this is one thing that we stay ahead of here, is that like there's always these shifts that are happening. And if you're following creators that post about LinkedIn, what you will see is like they're always talking about the algorithm, because it feels like the rug is being pulled out on them all the time. And so like to Mike's point, what was working yesterday might not work today. Today, what's working are image posts are like king on LinkedIn. So, and there's like data behind this. So a post with an image. Why an image? 80 to 90% of the consumption that's happening on LinkedIn is happening on a mobile device. Most of the content creation happens on the desktop, but most of the consumption happens on a mobile device. So when you're scrolling through your mobile device, what stands out? You have a lot more real estate with an image. That's why they're so important. Text-only posts are performing almost the worst because of that same reason. They're just not standing on the feed. So image post, and that includes like more kind of personal selfie style posts work really well for some creators. Infographic posts, frameworks, quotes, all of those are working pretty well. The second category of posts that perform like performance-wise is the carousel. That used to be king. Carousels were crushing. They got demoted, and that happened over the last like 3 to 6 months. Carousels aren't performing the same, but they're like second tier. Beneath that is like video and polls. So those are, video. LinkedIn made a big push for video around the end of 2024.
That's where we got.
Yeah. And like into 2025, and videos were doing really well. And then they just kind of like ratcheted that back a little bit. So I do see some creators who are doing well with very specific direct to camera videos. But in general, videos are going to get you less reach and less like top of funnel account growth.
Okay.
I do think they're important for trust building. Like video is the best way to build trust. It's like, it's visual. Someone gets to know who you are. If you're just posting an infographic every day, they don't really get a sense of who you are. So
Right.
video posts are important. They're just not going to help you grow your account fast as a image or like a carousel.
Another question we have here is, how do I overcome the LinkedIn algorithms? I have 6,000 plus followers and the engagement has been terrible the past few months. What are some tips to get delivery?
Yeah, the first is create a target list of accounts that are in your niche or ICP. So create a list of creators, go find them on LinkedIn, preferably ones that are getting engagement on their account. So they are like a consistent creator, they're getting engagement on their account. Create that list and then go start commenting on them, to my point earlier.
Yeah.
What'll happen there is your comment will be seen on their post. So you're renting their audience, okay? And then you're getting some engagement on your comment. And then what's also happening is they will recognize that the fact that you are engaging on their post, and then eventually reciprocity will happen. Not all creators do this, but a lot of them do. They will come back and comment on your post. When that happens, you are now exposed to their audience in their feed.
Right.
That's how we see content from creators that we're actually not connected with, is through that first degree relationship. So you'll get that reciprocity, you'll start getting into their feed. That'll expose you to a new audience, but one that's also in your ICP. And then you'll start to get some more engagement. I'd say the second thing is, depending on what kind of type of content that you're posting, you have to post image posts. So if you're not doing that, post image post. And then the third thing is content that works really well on LinkedIn is typically educational content. So there's different types of post types that we could get into that work really well, like different types of topics that work really well. But I would say educational posts, how can you educate your audience on a problem that you know that they have, that you have solved, and like show receipts? So if I post like a post that says something like, the way to grow on LinkedIn is to like post image posts in carousels, that post is not going to do very well. And the reason is I don't show my own experience with that problem and how I solved it.
Right.
Whereas if I say I posted a poll last week and it got 1,000 views, and I posted an image this week around the same topic and it got 100,000. And then I show all of the receipts around what I've done. I have been doing this since I had a tiny audience. I would literally be like, I posted this post, it got 10 likes, and this one got 20 likes. And then I would actually write a post about that and show people what I did. And even though the numbers weren't big, people were curious about that and they wanted to see the receipts. So I would say understanding your audience's problem and showing them how you solved it, and then having an insight about that. Those are that's the catnip on LinkedIn.
That's awesome.
So before you step away, we love Stanley. We love you. That's why you're here. You've been nice enough to give everyone here 14 days free. Is that correct?
14 days free and a big discount.
And a huge, that's what I was going to say. You've gone from, I don't know why we're paying $149 a month. We're paying $149 a month. He is coming with an offer for $49 a month. Think, like, we're in this world of AI that the amount of like value you're getting for $50 a month, you couldn't hire someone to do one shitty post for $50 a month.
No way.
Exactly.
And so you get your own like LinkedIn advisor, writer, cheerleader for $50 a month.
Yeah, I mean,
come on.
I've been using it. It's funny because I said to Mike the other day, because I'm in the middle of building my own Claude brain, that I kind of wanted to just use Stanley's brain because it knew me better than what I'd been doing on Claude. So we've seen in basically a week and a half, just massive success. Huge thanks to you for giving us this massive discount to all of our audience. Thank you for explaining it. I just want to say, like, it's been impressive to see how you have really just done something with discipline every single day. And I love that part about you, MJ. And I'm so glad it's paid off.
Thank you so much. Love you guys. Thanks for having me on. I love talking about this stuff. So it's an absolute pleasure to come on, and I'm honored. Thank you so much.
Thanks, buddy. See you soon.
See you guys.
Thanks.
So that was awesome. MJ's just such an incredible human being, but also so smart. And I've just watched him. I've been stalking him since 2024.
He's also handsome, for the record.
Yeah, he is.
Which is why, like, he's smart. He works hard. He's disciplined. He's nice. He's handsome. It's why I hate MJ. Like, I'm trying to find what his flaws are.
Well, all right. So we're going to try to wrap this up. It's been 2 hours, and I just want to go through a couple things. I'm going to go back to our packages, Mike. We talked about the Harvest Mentorship Program. We talked about the Farm Council meeting.
Where do they find these?
I'm going to tell them in a second. We talked about the VIP dinner. And the one thing we really haven't talked about is this other package, this other event that we are doing on April 30th. And the reason I waited till the end is because I wanted to say that all the people that you talked to today are going to be at this conference, Bootstrapping to Billions. We're going to talk about building and scaling and winning without outside capital. And you're going to literally see on stage Maha, you're going to see Miles, you're going to see MJ, you're going to see Dina Ufberg, who's our COO of Executive Search Firm. And you're going to get a chance live in person to ask questions and learn more. This was a short time to get everybody on, but we'd love to see you at this event.
It's basically LazFest.
Yeah.
It's one day. It's in New York City. So we're not streaming this. This will not be streamed.
Mm-hmm.
This is in person. First one we've ever done. We're a little nervous. First ticketed event. It's a little weird, but we love events more than writing books. So hopefully, hopefully you guys can join. And, KassMike.com/shovel has everything. And we appreciate everyone being here. We love entrepreneurship. We love founders. We love operators. You know where to reach us. Please reach out if we could help in any way. And thank you. Never stop shoveling.
Never stop shoveling.
I got my little shovel.
And remember, if you want any of these hats, which is so funny because anybody who we talk to and they're wearing this hat, it gives them some superpower.
Hey, where do they get the hats?
Same thing. You can go to KassMike.com/shovel. You'll see a button there. You can also just go to KassandMike.com and you'll see a merch button in the navigation.
Merch.
Thank you so much, everybody. Appreciate you listening in. And I hope we provided some value, and we will talk soon. Thank you. Thanks, everybody.